Sailing. The sun, the wind, the crystal blue waters. What better way to leave civilization behind than to explore the vast open reaches of the sea? But travelers of the sea must be vigilant. Calm waters can quickly whip into savage seas. In this environment, there are no guarantees for survival. Anyone who travels by boat or ship is always at the mercy of the ocean. In 1991, one of the most terrifying high seas tragedies ever took place off the Atlantic coast of the U.S. Author Sebastian Junger chronicled the story of the perfect storm in his best-selling book, which was later made into a movie. The harrowing tale follows the fates of those who were swept away in the storm of the century. Seasoned sailor Ray Leonard remembers the perfect storm well. He lived through it. It's a sunny day in late October, and Ray is eager to embark on the 800-mile voyage from New Hampshire to the island of Bermuda. He's anxious because a precious window of good weather is rapidly closing.
The weather on the East Coast is never great in October. I had planned the voyage to start 2 days prior, when the weather was good for that time of year.
Ray's departure is delayed as he waits for his 2 crew members to arrive. Time is of the essence. A winter storm is forming off the coast. Still, he's not overly concerned. His 32-foot sloop Satori is outfitted for heavy weather and designed to take the hard pounding of an open ocean crossing.
Well, Satori is a very strong, good boat. She had been through some pretty heavy storms.
Ray usually sails the Satori alone, even on long trips. But this time he's agreed to take a crew, 2 novice sailors. Finally, they show up, more than a day late, and Ray rushes them onto the boat.
Late. We had to be out with the tide, because if we missed this tide, there's another 6 hours before we can leave.
In his haste, Ray skips his standard crew briefing about the boat and travel at sea.
We left without any preliminary discussion and without really good preparation.
Ray figures his crew can learn about the boat as they sail for Bermuda. This is a mistake that everyone on board will sorely regret in the days to come. As the team sets off on their journey, there isn't enough wind to sail, so Ray fires up the engine and then checks the radio for weather. He hears that in addition to the earlier winter storm that he was tracking, there is now a second storm headed their way.
The next day the wind started building. There was talk of another storm. That was a worry.
But Ray has a lot more to worry about. The impossible has happened. The 2 storms have collided with the remainder of a hurricane, creating a destructive force beyond comprehension. At the same time, in Massachusetts, Coast Guard Commander Larry Brudnicki and his crew watch closely as the monstrous tempest heads for the east coast of the United States.
In the weather reports, they were predicting absolutely miserable weather. So my plan was just to anchor behind Cape Cod to get some protection from the storm.
Brudnicki will ride it out on the 205-foot cutter called Tamaroa. Meanwhile, 100 miles out at sea, the mammoth storm is headed right for the Satori.
So the boat is rolling and bouncing around considerably with these seas.
Despite the increasingly dangerous weather, Ray chooses not to head for land. He thinks staying out at sea during a storm is sometimes the best course of action, because waves grow steeper and more deadly in the shallow water near shore.
I believe that a good seaboat should stay at sea in heavy weather.
But Ray's crew is scared. They urge him to turn around and go back to port. They can't understand how any sailboat, even the Satori, can survive such a storm.
Just no way that a boat like Satori could come apart. By this time, I knew I had a relatively inexperienced crew that I couldn't depend on.
Ray methodically prepares for the worst. He lowers the sail, cranks in his lines, gets everyone inside, and battens down the hatches.
As long as you keep all your hatches closed, water can't get inside. And with no water inside a boat, it's like a big barrel.
On the third night, as the storm grows stronger, the sailboat cabin starts behaving like the inside of a washing machine. By day 4, the storm intensifies, and the 2 crew members become hysterical.
They started saying, "We're going to die. We're going to die." They had a horrible, terrible fear of death.
Suddenly, a giant wave hits the Satori and violently knocks the boat onto its side. Within a tenth of a second, the heavy keel snaps the sailboat back upright.
It's a vicious, vicious snap, vicious snap.
Ray ventures out on deck to make sure the knockdown didn't break the mast.
I noticed that the wave had washed the life raft over the side. I knew we couldn't drag it. I knew we weren't about to go in that life raft in this storm.
Ray cuts loose the life raft. The crew watches horrified, thinking that their only chance for survival has just been eliminated.
We're so scared! We're gonna die!
As waves continue to punish the Satori, the crew tells Ray,
"You have killed us. This is the end. We will now die. For certain. The life raft